Awesome. All right, here we are. Welcome, welcome. So glad to see Patricia and Nina and Anne. It's a pleasure to be with you, dear sisters, and welcoming all our sisters that will be watching this later as a replay. I am so excited to share a little more deeply about our temple and our temple programs as we've completed this beautiful week in the Lion's Gate, calling our Grail Keepers home. So basically, now that we have this precious blueprint within us of the Grail Keeper, this feminine force that is part of us, that's an innate part of our feminine wisdom in our bodies, she who knows the power, the wisdom, the majesty, the magic of our Grail and her waters. That is a fractal, right? This is the beauty of it. What we hold between our hips is a fractal of the womb of Gaia and her waters, and Cosmic Mama and her waters, and all the way back to Source Womb. So when we step into this, as we claim this within ourselves, we begin to naturally commune and understand the mysteries of all the other dimensions of the womb. So what I'm inviting you into is a journey of reclaiming, as Grail Keeper, reclaiming your Grail, reclaiming your sacred waters of life. And practically this is done through our journey into sacred menstruation. Now, it's called Journey into Sacred Menstruation because we are doing that first step of reclaiming our connection, healing our connection to this red thread of Mother's love as she lives within us. That does not mean that you necessarily have to be menstruating. Our blood mysteries, the flow of our womb blood through our life from childhood, from birth to death, right, is part of us and part of our magic. The blood mysteries brings forth our full understanding of how that initiates us and supports us and the gifts that she brings in each of those stages. We are diving into kind of the middle portion, which is when women naturally practice their connection to this wisdom and this force. And at the same time, it is transferable to all stages of life, right? And by reclaiming our connection to our womb and our blood, we can then, for our wise women, our queens that are entering menopause, you can find the connection and the tools that are specific to your season in life, okay? So, let's dive in. I want to invite us just to see the program so that you know what it is. And please feel free to place in the chat any questions that you have as they arise, as I would love to address those and the things that have been coming through emails and such. So let me share a screen so we can go into like the details of what this actually looks like. Let me, again, technology. Here we go. Share. No, that's not it. One more time. There we go. Okay, so once you step through, so our temple, first of all, has different aspects to it. So our temple is, as you've already felt through the journey, it's an etheric place, right? It's an etheric temple that is very real, that we can visit and we can step into together. This is where we journey, right? On top of that, this is being anchored on the planet physically by our work as women. And we have what's called the mothership on the internet, right? Where we go to, and this is where our program unfolds. So once you step in, you're going to be guided into this place where all your modules are. And through each one of these modules, you're going to see that you are going to be receiving different video transmissions. You're going to have PDFs, like written material for you to read. There's always a womb journal for you to deepen with the core work of that week, right? And there's always going to be an audio meditation. So you have all these elements for you to dive into. Now, the course is structured, right? So that we have an opening ceremony, something to share. We have an opening ceremony to begin where we open the etheric gates of our journey, right? And you're invited into the temple as an initiate, basically, into our blood mysteries. And then every week you receive access to one of these modules. The first module is all about getting you set up. So it's an introduction. It's explaining to you what this lineage is, what the temple is, why it's important. And then the practical pieces as well for our menstruating women, how to collect our moon blood, healthy menstrual products, how to store our moon blood. For our wise women, how to use transfigured wine for the rituals. And for our wise women, there is special instructions of how to follow each module so that it is aligned with your stage in life and how to get the most out of it, because you are able to participate in all of it. And you're needed in all of them. Okay, so that's the introduction. Then after that, we dive into the remembrance and the release and remembrance module. This is a journey of deep transformation. The deepest woundings and limitations that have been placed upon the feminine has been in our womb and in connection to our blood. So in this module, we dive into her story. So the forgotten stories, myths, of the power of our moon blood, of the importance of the feminine, right? And also the light, so her story, and the shadow, our history, how patriarchy descended, and all that lives consciously and subconsciously within us from our thousands of years into patriarchy. And the whole point of this journey is to illuminate all that so you can be freed of all the patterns and wounds that we hold, so that you can have a direct remembrance of the essence of your moon blood. Through all of this is about catalyzing a direct experience. It's not about giving you information. It's about setting up a container and a journey so that you can, just as you felt directly the Grail Keeper in you, however she presented herself, you had a direct experience of the mystery. This is what the core of our temple is about. Giving you tools and information, and most of all, spaces, journeys, gatherings where you can have a direct experience of your moon blood, so you can hear directly from your womb what she's about, right? The medicine she holds for you and how she wants to communicate with you. This is about remembering. Remembering is bringing the things that have been torn asunder back together so that you can be in the wholeness of who you are. Right? So we have the module of remembrance and release. Then we dive into reclaiming and activating. Everyone has moon blood. And here we dive into the mystical powers of our moon blood. And we also dive into the biological powers of our moon blood. So you can have an intimate knowledge on both sides of the spectrum of how magical she is, right? And really claim that for yourself. So this module is all about diving deep into the power of your moon blood from the biochemical aspects all the way to the spiritual aspects. And again, focusing on you having a direct experience of that, not here, but in your body. It's about reclaiming your direct connection to your womb, to your blood, and how that connects you into the mystery and to your own essence being. From there, we dive into a third module, which is it's all about attuning, right? We know this as women, our body, the cycle, our feminine cycle, our menstrual cycle, where menstruation is a piece of a larger feminine cycle, has deep embedded wisdom and medicine for us. So in this module, we go into the medicine of the fullness of our cycle. What happens magically when we start to attune to her and really work with her and listen to the wisdom that she holds for us, and then how she connects and attunes naturally to the moon, to the larger cycles of the sun, astrological, events, etc. And how to work with that, how to interpret that, how to lens that so you can understand what's weaving through you. Because the reality is that each one of us is different. And through our lives, our cycle will change and we'll attune with different things. The magic is in being able to see how the body is wise, and any shifts and changes are actually, when we step into this mystery, begin to connect with larger cycles that support our planetary and individual unfolding. It's amazing what begins to happen when this is one of my favorite pieces, when we begin to work for our menstruating women, when we begin to work with our blood in this way, even just at this point, we're just doing meditations and sinking into the program. At this point, the moment we start to really tune into the wisdom of our blood and our womb, she starts to magically align with all kinds of things, larger cycles, and even with personal cycles, like when you are in stress or you have a big project or things are happening in your life that you need that extra presence of mother's love and support, your cycle begins to shift and change to show up for you. And this is also how we develop that deep connection to the body. We've been told as women, one of the subconscious patterns is that we can't trust our body, that needs to be somehow controlled, right? Manipulated. Here is where we begin to restore our trust in the body. And not just because we want that, but because you begin to experience a direct communication between yourself and your body and how she is showing up for you in such beautiful and magical ways. So that's all that's in module 3. Then we dive into module 4, which is where we anchor. Okay. And again, even if you're not bleeding, you do this with transfigured wine. There is immense amount of power in bringing all that we've been experienced so far into a ritual to anchor into the physical body and into the physical reality, these experiences that we're having in spirit. Okay, so in this module, and this is the longest one, okay, we are going to go into all of the menstrual rites that are available to us, how to practice them, and most importantly, the energetic underpinnings of H1. Okay, so in all of this, as I hope you've already been feeling this, you're going to notice that this is a lineage that deeply honors your sovereignty, deeply honors the wisdom that flows through you, right? And is nurturing of that. So this is not about me telling you, like, this is the way to do it. This module is about, these are the possibilities. This is what each rite kind of is about. These are the necessary elements. These are some ways you can weave it together. And you're in full creative freedom to tap into the wisdom of your body and create rituals that support you. This is ultimately what I want for you, to fully claim your power as a creatrix, to fully remember that you have deep wisdom and medicine within you. And we begin to practice right away from the get-go, right? So here we offer to the earth, to the waters, we put blood on our altar, sacred art, empower and consecrate power objects, tools. There's a whole bunch of juicy goodness there. And this is where it gets really fun also, because you begin to really experience what happens when we bring our blood or transfigured wine to these age-old and at the same time modern rituals into our lives. All I can say, and what sisters say that have been here, is that magic unfolds. And that this is why I'm so passionate about this lineage, because things begin to happen. You begin to have deep, both mystical and experiences where your outer world is mirroring back to you and confirming that what you're doing is very real. There's a very real impact, right? It's not just in your imagination or in your mind. It's real. You're having that direct experience as true within you, and it's being mirrored back to you by your outer reality. So we have that. And then we have our wise women module, which is for our wise women and for our menstruating women. For our wise women, this is the piece where it details how you work with the blood mysteries at your stage. There's an activation specifically for how you access the blood mysteries in this stage of life where you're not cycling, and the not cycling has its unique wisdom and potency, right? Wise women is the pinnacle of feminine power, right? So there's new myths here for you to sink into the reality and the role of wise women, and how you access your power in this stage. And for those of us that are menstruating, this is also part of our lineage work, in terms of as we receive these truths of who wise women actually is, we begin to heal that within ourselves, and it sets a path for us going forward that is life affirming and empowering, and is helping us anchor, this into this world, these mysteries and this truth that the feminine is powerful and beautiful and sacred and precious in all her stages, and that is deeply healing for every woman, no matter what age she is. Okay, so that is our program. This is what you receive. So each week a module with video transmissions inviting you deeper into these themes, audio meditations and activations for you to have direct experience of the core of what we're visiting, womb journals for you to deepen through that tool, and written material in most of the modules to support in that way what we're covering. And then on top of that, we'll have our opening ceremony at the beginning. We'll have a mid-journey, a temple experience and Q&A, so that you can be fully held in all that is unfolding for you. We hold intimacy as one of our core pillars within the temple. So my goal always is to make sure that you are fully supported and held in your experience, so that you'll have this opportunity to share and be received and be held, answer any questions that may arise. And then we have a closing ceremony to harvest the gifts of the fullness of the journey, answer any remaining questions, and see what comes next for you, whatever that is. Okay. On top of that, we have a private Facebook group that's dedicated to Temple Sisters, where you'll be coming into. So you have that place also to share your experiences and be supported and connect with other sisters that, just like you, are practicing our blood mysteries and remembering their Grail Keeper and walking as her in the world. And in that group is the fullness of the temple. So we'll have sisters that are like you, that are just stepping in and starting the journey, sisters that have done this journey before, sisters that are in the deeper spirals of our mystery temple, and I'll be going into those in a little bit. So there's an intimate and very supportive community there to hold you if Facebook is one of the things that feels good for you. It's not a requirement though. Okay, and that's also really important. Again, we're a temple that honors your wisdom and what is right for you. All right, so that is in a nutshell, my loves. I want to address some questions now. So I'm just going to come to the Facebook group for a second. Please let me know if there are any questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand. And as you think, I'm going to address some of the questions that have been posed through email and other missives. So practical things, time investment, right? As you saw, the modules are broken up in little bits. So each one of those activities is 20 to 30 minutes long. So you can, do everything in one day, or you can break it up different days so that it fits into your schedule in 20, 30-minute intervals. In general, this is going to take about 2.5 hours out of your week to dive into. It's not an overwhelming amount of material. The feminine is not about doing so much. It's more about feeling into and allowing that reality that you're connecting to unfold through you. Okay, so we, again, not an overwhelming amount of material. You need about 2.5 hours a week to get through the videos and do the meditation. And the ask's mostly just to stay connected to what unfolds through the activations in your week and through the transmissions. Okay. That being said, the 4th module is the longest. That's why we've added an extra week of integration. So there is an extra week at the end, so that if you haven't gotten through all the videos, you still have time to dive in, or simply take that week to integrate all you've received. That being said, all of this is yours for as long as the temple is working and standing, which hopefully will be for many generations to come. So if you find that it's wisdom for you to go more slowly through the material, then you are more than welcome to do that. Again, we honor your own sacred rhythm. There is medicine to and power to going with the group, so that, and the accountability and just the being in that wave, which can be very supportive. And at the same time, for some of us, if there's too much going on and we're being initiated, sometimes the wisdom is to take a breath and just go a little more slowly. So any way you flow through this is, embraced, because we are a temple of unconditional embrace. Okay, so just know that. And you can always, even after the closing ceremony, you can always come back to this and continue. You're part of the Facebook group, for as long as you wish to be part of the temple. Even after the program, this spiral, closes, you're still part of that community. So you can continue receiving the support and sharing your experiences and going at your own rhythm, if that is what's wisdom for you. Another question that has been posed is, what if I'm in another program? What if I'm studying something else? Okay. This is compatible with absolutely anything else you're doing in your life. This is about coming back to the core of your wisdom, the core of your connection to the mystery. Our womb and our womb blood is what anchors our essence into our body. So as we naturally claim our relationship to life, to love, to mother, to our essence, and to the mystery, anything that is supporting you in that will be supported by this school as well. Okay, so you are more than welcome to follow your own soul unfolding, as is, again, life affirming for you. The womb is about unity, it's about inclusivity, it's about embrace. So there is no need to separate in terms of what is calling you deeper into your being. And what I have found for myself and for the sisters that are part of the temple is that having this foundation, again, even if you find that your path leads in another priestess speciality or another direction, it's your foundation, your connection to self and mother and life. So it will support and magically unfold the path that is right for you before your eyes, right? So yes, you may be in other programs. And again, this is a program that doesn't require that much out of you. So unless you have a really, really busy life, you should have enough time to also pursue other programs if that is your joy to do so. The other question that comes out is, I received this, what if you don't want to do blood rites? Okay. And the answer is, again, that's okay. That's okay. Our blood mysteries is about much more than the blood rites. The blood rites that you will receive in module 4, again, of all the 5 modules, is just one, right? The blood rites is the way that the woman that is in her menstruating years anchors in the wisdom and medicine of being a woman, right? But there is so much more to our blood mysteries than the practice. This is a tool. It's a very helpful and powerful tool, but it is a tool. And there are many ways to work with our blood mysteries that don't involve the actual physical use of blood. it's a powerful tool and I encourage it. And this is part of why it's here, because it creates deep transformation. But at the same time, if you're not there, if it doesn't feel good for you, there's no pressure ever. Okay. Wise women, and we have a lot of wise women in our temple because, again, the natural place of wise women is this role, is holding the mystery, initiating the younger women, right? So wise women have been powerfully called in to hold this remembrance so that they can be that watchtower and that beacon, right, for the younger generation. So none of the wise women in the temple, practice blood rites with blood. You're encouraged to practice with transfigured wine, right? As a way, again, of anchoring the mysteries, but not everyone does. So again, you are honored and respected in whatever feels right for you. That being said, being in this field, once you're inside, right, being in the presence of it allows for deep healing and transformation. Because the fact that there is fear or resistance or ick or like, oh, right, which is completely natural, by the way, for anyone that is feeling that, is a signal of something there that needs to be illuminated. In everyday life, when you may know maybe yoga is not your thing, right? But you don't have a physical reaction to it, right? If you have a physical reaction, you have a deep reaction, be it fear, rejection, judgment, separation, there's something there that needs to be looked at. So if you're having any of these reactions, I'm inviting you to come in with just an open heart, open mind to see what might be true, what might be there, right? Knowing that you are not forced, to do absolutely anything, and still holding open the possibility that there may be something here that you're not being able to see because of the layers of programming. Okay. Our moon blood, and we see this in our modules, right, has been manipulated and used for fear, for domination, for binding, for all kinds of scary stuff, right? So it's natural for that to kind of be here. And at the same time, the essence of her is life, is love, is mother. That's what at the core. So if anything is arising that is not that, imagine what it would be like to just not have that at all. What would it be like just to have an open connection to life and love and mother, and not have the burden of these fears and reactions, even if you never, ever do a blood rite? There's still so much healing and empowering and reclaiming that can happen in your vessel. So my invitation would be, especially if you have a big reaction to the idea of blood rites, come in, allow yourself to be in the discomfort of it, right? Again, knowing that you are absolutely always free, supported, loved, and unconditionally embraced, no matter what your choices are, right? And just see what happens. Yeah, so that was another one. And that also goes for, collecting. Some women use moon cups. Some women feel like they can't do that. Whatever your method is, again, this is a temple of the womb. The womb is about embrace. It's about unity. It's about love. Your sovereignty, your unfolding in your unique way is always embraced and honored unconditionally. All right, so those are the questions that I've had so far. Is there anyone else here that has any other questions that wants to be addressed? Yeah, and this is the temple work we do, right? And we create space for the unfolding of your journey, because there is deep magic and wisdom in your journey, right? And we need, all of us, we need holding in it, right? It's about connecting, but also anchoring a way of being in the world where we're not alone anymore, right? and where there's a container that holds us and nourishes us, because we are constantly in this process. Just as our womb is in this process of ebbing and flowing, of life, death, and rebirth, we're in that process all the time. And for us to be able to really sink into that, right, we need to feel safe and held. There has to be a container, there has to be a womb. And the temple is that womb for you to gestate yourself and birth yourself in the full magnificence of you, and in the uniqueness of you, right? And that's the beauty. Each one of the things I love in temple is that, yeah, each one of you brings your own lineages. Like, some are connected to dragons, some are connected to oil, some are connected to Magdalene, some are connected to animals. Like, whatever it is, that the lineages that weave through you, they weave in through beauty and are nurtured by mother, right? And unfurled and unfolded, so you blossom into the being that you're here to be, that you already are. All right, loves, we're coming on the hour. So last check-in. Is there anything else that wishes to be asked or shared before we close today? No? Okay, checking the Facebook group. So loves, early bird pricing is open until the 17th. There's not only a reduced, heart contribution for the temple program, but there's also a gift of a 2-hour blood art journey, where with a beloved sister, we take you through the ritual, right, and the journey of weaving our blood or transfigured wine into transformational art, and the reclamation of the beauty of our womb blood that I would love to give to you for stepping in and being a clear yes. Then the gates close for the year until the 24th, and we begin the 28th. So on Monday the 28th, for those of you that have stepped in, you will receive your email in the morning to set up your password and access that first introductory module. And then that day, you will also have in the afternoon our opening ceremony to kick us off. And I'll welcome you into the Facebook group, and we'll continue our communications in the sanctity of our temple space. And yeah, those are the practical details. So I hope to see you there. I hope to see you inside. And if not, please continue to come to our Fascinating Feminine Flow page, so that we can continue in connection and remembering our magic as women. No matter what, you are loved, you are held, you are seen in the magic of who you are. And I hope to journey with you further. On my love, many blessings, happy moon times, and I hope to see you inside.